Welcome to Microbe World. Today we decode the terrifying secrets of the cicada variant, a hidden survivor of our modern era. Have you ever wondered what happened when the entire world finally believed the devastating global pandemic had completely faded into distant memory? People took off their masks, cities reopened their bustling streets, and humanity joyfully celebrated the ultimate victory over an invisible microscopic enemy. But the bitter truth is that the virus never truly disappeared from our environment. It merely changed its ultimate strategy for survival. Instead of causing immediate chaos, this biological entity chose to become a cicada, burying itself deep within the shadows of human biology. In the vast scientific community, the specific variant known as BA.3.2 earned a very chilling and unique nickname. Scientists officially called it the cicada because of one extremely terrifying characteristic that allowed it to evade complete destruction by modern medicine. That defining trait is absolute concealment. It learned how to vanish completely from the watchful eyes of our highly advanced immune systems. Rather than spreading wildly and risking immediate detection by healthy bodies, it actively sought out hidden sanctuaries to ensure its long existence. These secret fortresses were actually the compromised bodies of individuals who possessed significantly weakened immune defenses due to various underlying medical conditions. Within these vulnerable human hosts, the virus deliberately avoided causing fatal damage, choosing instead to establish a quiet and prolonged parasitic relationship. It silently survived there for hundreds of days, completely undetected by doctors, while the outside world mistakenly celebrated the end of infections. Every single day that passed inside the host, the virus acted like a meticulous thief, carefully sharpening a universal master key, silently. It slowly accumulated tiny genetic mutations over time, patiently waiting for the exact moment when our collective vaccine protection would inevitably fade. As months turned into years, the global population gradually lost the robust immunological shields that were built during the massive vaccination campaigns. The virus understood this temporal advantage perfectly, utilizing the extended hiding period to redesign its molecular structure without triggering any systemic alarms. Deep inside the cellular matrix, the viral RNA replicated with calculated precision, testing new protein configurations to bypass future antibody defensive responses. This evolutionary laboratory operated continuously within the host, generating countless microscopic variations until the most optimal and evasive strain was successfully forged. Medical researchers remained completely unaware of this silent progression, focusing their limited resources on other emerging diseases and seasonal influenza virus outbreaks. The illusion of safety blinded global health organizations, creating a dangerous vulnerability that the hidden pathogen was fully prepared to exploit ruthlessly. By the time early 2026 arrived, the biological conditions across the globe had aligned perfectly for the grand emergence. Just like a real cicada waking from its long underground slumber, the mutated virus finally breached the surface of its hidden sanctuary. It emerged with a completely upgraded spike protein, rendering previous immune recognition patterns almost entirely useless against its newly acquired biological armor. The initial spread was incredibly stealthy, causing only mild symptoms that were easily mistaken for common colds or minor seasonal allergy reactions. People continued their daily routines without any suspicion, unknowingly acting as active carriers for this highly evolved and incredibly patient microscopic predator. Within a matter of weeks, the silent wave of infection had successfully crossed international borders without triggering any major airport fever scanners. It established new footholds in densely populated urban centers, utilizing the intricate networks of modern public transportation to accelerate its invisible expansion. More than 20 countries reported sudden and unexplained spikes in respiratory illnesses, baffling local doctors who struggled to identify the root cause. The global health community scrambled to sequence the genome of this mysterious pathogen, only to discover the shocking truth hidden within it. This was not a completely new enemy, but an old adversary that had spent over 500 days evolving in absolute secrecy. The revelation sent shockwaves through the scientific establishment, forcing researchers to completely rethink their fundamental understanding of viral persistence and evolutionary strategies. We realized that our previous victory was merely a temporary ceasefire, a brief pause orchestrated by an incredibly intelligent and adaptable organism. The cicada variant demonstrated that viruses do not simply surrender, they retreat, adapt, and prepare for the next inevitable phase of conflict. To truly comprehend the magnitude of this biological threat, we must examine the microscopic battlefield where this silent war was actually fought. Imagine a solitary human cell, a complex and beautiful universe of biochemical reactions that normally functions in perfect harmony and absolute balance. The virus infiltrates this cellular paradise with terrifying efficiency, hijacking the internal machinery to produce thousands of identical copies of its genome. In a healthy immune system, specialized white blood cells would immediately detect these foreign invaders and launch a massive and destructive counterattack. But in the immunocompromised hosts, these defensive forces are tragically depleted, allowing the virus to establish a permanent and unchallenged operational base. Here, the pathogen does not need to rush its replication cycle, which often leads to fatal errors and rapid destruction of hosts. Instead, it adopts a slow and deliberate pace, carefully testing each genetic mutation to ensure maximum survivability and enhanced future transmission capabilities. This prolonged interaction between the virus and the weakened host creates a unique evolutionary pressure cooker that accelerates the development of variants. Every single cough or sneeze from the host releases a tiny fraction of these highly evolved particles into the surrounding immediate environment. Most of these particles perish quickly, but it only takes one successful transmission to initiate a completely new and devastating global chain. The cicada variant was the ultimate master of this waiting game, sacrificing rapid expansion for the guarantee of long-term biological supremacy. It observed the gradual decline of neutralizing antibodies in the general population, sensing the exact moment when the immunological window opened wide. When it finally struck, it did so with a level of precision and efficiency that left medical professionals absolutely stunned and defenseless. Hospitals began to see a slow but steady increase in admissions, primarily among the elderly and those with existing severe health vulnerabilities. The symptoms were subtly different from previous waves, featuring prolonged fatigue and unusual neurological impacts that complicated early diagnosis and effective treatment. Public health officials faced a monumental challenge. How do you convince a weary population to take protective measures against an invisible threat? Pandemic fatigue had deeply entrenched itself in society, making it incredibly difficult to implement necessary restrictions or encourage new booster vaccination drives. The virus thrived in this environment of apathy and exhaustion, exploiting our collective desire to simply forget the traumatic events of yesterday. It moved through schools, workplaces, and social gatherings like a phantom, leaving a trail of mild but persistent infections in its wake. The true danger of the cicada variant was not its immediate lethality, but its ability to cause widespread systemic disruption and disability. Long-term consequences of these infections began to emerge, threatening to overwhelm healthcare systems and cripple economic productivity on a global scale. Scientists worked around the clock to develop updated vaccines, but the virus had already established a significant and highly problematic evolutionary head start. The race between human innovation and viral adaptation had entered a dangerous new phase, with the stakes higher than they ever were. We learned that genomic surveillance could not be abandoned, even when the immediate threat appeared to have completely vanished from our radar. Tracking these hidden reservoirs of infection requires a paradigm shift in how we approach global public health and infectious disease monitoring protocols. We must look beyond the immediate outbreaks and focus on the quiet corners where the next major biological storm is slowly gathering. The story of the cicada variant is a chilling reminder of the incredible resilience and adaptability of microscopic life on our planet. It teaches us that nature does not adhere to our timelines or our desperate desires for a return to comfortable historical normalcy. The microbial world operates on its own relentless schedule, driven by the fundamental biological imperative to survive, replicate, and conquer new territories. As we navigate this complex and ever-changing landscape, we must remain vigilant, adaptable, and deeply respectful of the unseen biological forces. Our survival depends on our ability to anticipate the moves of these microscopic adversaries, rather than simply reacting to their devastating consequences. The battle against the cicada variant is far from over. It is merely the opening sequence in a much longer evolutionary war. We must invest heavily in advanced research, supporting the brilliant minds who dedicate their lives to understanding these complex and dangerous pathogens. International cooperation is absolutely essential, as viruses do not recognize political borders or respect the artificial divisions created by human modern societies. Sharing critical genomic data and medical resources freely across nations is our best defense against the rapid spread of highly evolved variants. We must also address the underlying health inequalities that create the vulnerable populations where these viruses can quietly hide and slowly mutate. Protecting the immunocompromised is not just a moral obligation. It is a critical strategic necessity in the ongoing fight against global pandemics. By strengthening the weakest links in our global health infrastructure, we can prevent the emergence of future variants with devastating worldwide consequences. The cicada variant serves as a powerful catalyst for change, urging us to build a more resilient and proactive global healthcare system. We possess the scientific knowledge and the technological tools required to defeat these microscopic enemies. But we must summon the collective will. Every individual plays a crucial role in this grand endeavor, from practicing basic hygiene to supporting evidence-based public health initiatives globally. Together, we can create an impenetrable shield against the unseen threats that lurk in the shadows of our deeply interconnected modern world. The legacy of the cicada variant will be defined not by the destruction it caused, but by the vital lessons it taught. We emerge from this challenge stronger, wiser, and better prepared for the inevitable biological encounters that lie ahead in our uncertain future. The microscopic universe is vast and endlessly complex, filled with both astonishing wonders and terrifying dangers that demand our constant scientific attention. Through continuous exploration and rigorous study, we can unlock the secrets of this hidden realm and secure a healthier future for humanity. We must never again allow the comforting illusion of safety to blind us to the ever-present realities of our biological existence. The watch continues, the science advances, and our commitment to safeguarding human life remains stronger and more resolute than it ever was. Thank you for joining us today on Microbe World. Stay curious, stay vigilant, and we will see you in the next episode.